Hey guys, I spent almost $300 for this, the Sony MDR1AM2. Gonna unbox it and we're gonna discuss why I bought this thing. This thing again, it's almost $300, and if I didn't know about the frequency response of it, obviously I wouldn't just go out and buy a random Sony headphone for almost $300 unless there was a reason to. HD high definition driver, yeah boy, achieves wide range sound reproduction, 360 reality audio, stereo headphones. Pretty cool. So I mean, I don't know who would just go out and buy these without knowing about the frequency response. So the frequency response is very close to my target of my other audio equipment. That's why I bought it. And it's a closed back headphone. So, a lot of times people will be like, what's the best closed back headphone? What's the best? Yeah, I remember watching somebody unbox this and they're like, why is there glue on the top but not the bottom? Hold on. Yeah, I watched somebody unbox it. Good thing I did, otherwise I would be ripping this apart right now. So it comes in a fairly fancy box. Apparently it's super light. Let's figure out how to open it. Oh, okay, there we go. Okay. So there's the headphones. I think they were supposed to be like this. Somebody said that they were metal. They are not metal. They appear to be completely plastic. And you can see the ear cups are actually really small. Apparently your ears are supposed to fit like under this a little bit. And maybe that's to prevent reflections throughout the ear cup. A lot of closed back headphones, they have really wonky colored treble, which is the reason why you want to get open back, because I guess, the sound reflects throughout the ear cups and colors the sound. And I guess, these are designed to wrap around your ears to prevent any reflections. Okay, so you've got a carrying pouch with some cables. Apparently the cable's not very long. You get two cables. I think one has a built-in microphone or something, mute button. So besides that, these two cables look about the same. Just one has a mute button. So it comes wrapped like this. So I guess we could, in a second here, talk about. Yeah, this cable's not very long at all. No, it's not very long. I don't know if I have any third-party cables. I think I might. Okay. So, well, yeah, it's extremely light. Honestly, feels very cheap. Yeah, somebody said the back is metal. I don't see any metal. I don't see any metal. It looks very, very cheap, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So okay. Let me show you why I bought these. Let me get these a little bit closer, and we can discuss why I bought these. So this is the frequency response of the MDR1AM2. Okay, it follows my target really well. This is the biodynamic DT990s, follows my target really well. And this is the SIMGOT EM6L. They all follow my target really well. So all of them, especially, you know, if we look at the mids and upper mids and treble, they follow this target really well. So it should be extremely transparent and well tuned to my liking. The only main difference is, you know, some have more bass, some have less bass, and all that jazz. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video in a second, and I'm going to give them a listen. Again, let's see. Okay. They seem to fit really good, really easy. That was very easy to put on my head. Okay. Cable, very short, but can maybe just barely reach my audio interface. So I will pause this and listen to them and get back to you in a second. Okay, my dudes, I think I can tell you the difference between the Sony MDR1AM2s and the biodynamic DT990s, and we'll look at the frequency response in a second. But main difference, obviously, one is closed back, one is open back. The open back DT990s have a much bigger circular area for your ears. The Sonys, you kind of fit your ears within, like the back of your ears. This part goes under the padding, and it fits perfectly fine. It's very comfortable. Now, the sound difference is a little bit surprising to me at first, but now it all makes sense. Obviously, the sound is much more isolated on the Sony MDR1AM2s, meaning, you know, you feel like you're in a room that has a very low noise floor. So it's a very isolated environment. It's like you're in a studio or, you know, a booth or something. So it cuts down on like the fan noise that I can hear right now. And yeah, it's much warmer, much boomier. And then in the highs, there's a little bit less sparkle, you know, above 10K. There's some, you know, treble spikes, little treble spikes on the DT990s that just give you a little bit extra airy, hi-fi shimmer. So they sound slightly darker in the air frequencies. So it's kind of like a more dead room, a less open, sparkly, clear room, kind of like the SIMGOT EM6Ls. The SIMGOT EM6Ls have a similar effect where they kind of roll off the highs a little bit more than the DT990, so they sound like they're more in a dead room, a less airy, sparkly room. So now immediately I noticed a tonality problem with these, and that's a 8 kilohertz peak that's on the frequency measurements. The thing is, the DT990s also have like an 8 kilohertz peak, but it's a little bit less strong. But the 8 kilohertz peak doesn't sound so apparent on the DT990s because of that extra open, airy sparkle above 8K. Since these seem to be, you know, a little bit more dampened above 8K while still having a 8K peak, the 8K peak kind of just stands out on its own without like this treble extension that goes above and beyond 8K to try, to basically cover up the 8K peak. So I could clearly hear an 8K peak tone on both of these, but the extra airy shimmer on the DT990s masks it, kind of covers up that tone a little bit, so it's less apparent. While on this one, maybe the 8K peak's a little bit stronger, a little bit bigger, but the air frequencies are lower without the extra amount of shimmer, so it makes that 8K peak stand out even more. So you kind of get this warm, boomy, clean sounding room, but all of a sudden there's like this 8K peak in the high frequency is kind of where consonants are, because I'm feeling the pressure towards the front of my mouth where the hard palate is, the that kind of stuff. You're restricting your airflow, and it's very high frequency. That's around 8K, and that kind of just puts a little bit of pressure there, and so everything you're hearing is kind of like that kind of region is just kind of pushing forward. So I'm getting a lot of 8K tone when I'm listening to these. But so let's just look at the frequency response real quick, so I can show you what we're talking about. So these are the the 3 different headphones I typically use. Hold on. I just add this and take it away. Supernova. That actually has a pretty similar response to the rest. Okay. So the thing I'm hearing, the MDR1AM2 are very clean sounding. I don't have a problem with the bass at all. It's not that bad at all, to be honest. It sounds very clean all the way through. I don't know if I hear this dip here. Again, that's only on one ear cup on this measurement, but this 8K peak is clearly there, and we can see these yellow treble shards on the DT990s. We can see the 8K peak is smaller on the DT990s, and then you have these treble shards in the air frequencies, these 2 peaks, and they really cover up that 8K tone in yellow here. These peaks right here, they cover up, they kind of mask the 8K peak because the treble just gets kind of brighter and brighter. So this 8K peak is overwhelmed by the brighter airy frequencies. When I listen to the MDR1AM2, this peak right here is more prominent than the air frequencies. So this peak kind of stands out quite a bit, and that would be my only complaint. But when I go back and forth between the DT990s, I do hear the 8K peak on the DT990s as well. They just do a better job of covering it up with these 2 peaks in the air frequencies, and I do think it's probably a little bit more reduced. So these actually, like, they sound different, okay? Both these headphones sound different. Again, there's less shimmer, less bite on the Sonys. Slightly duller in the air frequencies, which makes a 8K peak stand out. So again, when I'm listening to these, all I focus on is the 8K tone that's not supposed to be there. And I was immediately like, oh, that's bad. That's bad. I can detect and narrow in on a bad frequency region, But everything else is clean. Everything else throughout the entire response is clean. I think I will be recommending these, but I'll pause this real quick and I'll listen to them one more time to give my final conclusion. But right now I'm saying yes, these are really good. They're living up to the measurements. I just think, maybe that 8K peak, but this is the best we're going to get, so. Okay, I think I'm done listening to these, and I can give you my final conclusion. I gotta say, the bass notes on certain songs come out of nowhere. I'm like, where is this bass coming from? I am disoriented. I am confused. Where is this bass coming from? If the songs are not that bass heavy, then obviously you're not going to notice it. But, like, if I hear a song with some bass in it, I'm like, this bass is just coming out of nowhere and overwhelming, the rest of the response. I think, again, it's a little disorienting. It's kind of like when I first started listening to bass boosted headphones. I felt engulfed. I felt disoriented. And I kind of feel that now, but it's more punchy bass because, again, it's boosted above below 200 hertz. So, when this bass does come out of here in the red, it is pretty insane. But again, it's not all songs. It's not all that you're listening to. You're not going to hear this crazy bass just come out of nowhere. But some songs that are bass boosted already, yeah, this is like, wow, okay. Why am I hearing these bass notes so prominently? What's going on here? Again, I guess certain songs you're not going to be focused on this 8K peak, but for the more critical listening stuff, I listen to, especially like, spoken word and stuff, where you can hear the, that prominency there at 8K, and it's, I recommend these headphones. I do. I think you'll probably see me using them quite a bit. I don't think I'm going to return them, but I will say that it is a little bit disorienting. These headphones are a little bit disorienting for me because, again, we've got the balance kind of thrown off that I'm used to, with these other headphones and earbuds. And I kind of felt that way with the SimGuide EM6Ls. They sounded, a bit smoother and cleaner than the DT990s, just a bit smoother and cleaner than the Samsung Galaxy Buds Pros. So I had to kind of like, whoa, this is a little bit different. And I'm kind of feeling that with these headphones, and then you throw in that bass, and it's kind of like, what? I think I'll get used to them. And again, it's, anything that deviates from what I'm used to, I have to get used to it, obviously. So I like them. Hopefully they last a long time. But yeah, these are more expensive than the other headphones and IEMs that I recommend. And, eventually you're going to need replacement pads and stuff. And, hopefully you can easily get them in the long term, so you don't end up with these headphones that are just falling apart after a few years, and then you have to go out and spend almost $300 more for them. But I like them, so now I have a good open back to recommend, a good closed back, and two, IEMs, true wireless and wired IEMs to recommend. I'll see you guys later.